Coming up on Juice and Java, find out what internet sensation is getting a new life as a live show.
And we have the Mandarins here for an in-studio performance.
All of that and more starts right now. Good morning, I'm Morgan Trau.
And I'm Gabrielle Caracciolo. Thanks for starting your morning with us.
Let's kick things off with the squeeze. A series of wildfires that broke out Thursday night in Southern California has led to the scorching of over 7,000 acres of land. As flames continue to spread across the Los Angeles area, roughly 100,000 people have been forced to evacuate. Los Angeles Councilwoman Monica Rodriguez says that the city's main priority is protecting their citizens.
Residents will not be allowed back in these areas because of the wind-driven conditions. We cannot. It's indiscriminate, and we want to make sure that we protect the public. We want to protect our first responders, and we want to continue to be able to protect your property.
California Governor Gavin Newsom says that the state has received a grant from the Federal Emergency Management Agency to help pay for the fire containment.
Now, Morgan, earlier in the week, one of the power companies in Southern California actually shut off power to over 1.5 million people in the state to try and prevent some of these fires from starting, because when there are really strong winds in the state, it can blow down power lines, and that can be the cause of one of the fires. They're not officially sure of what has caused this yet, but it is likely from one of those power lines being blown down by these heavy winds that they're experiencing right now.
Yeah, and they say that they're investigating somebody who said that they saw a power line fall and that they saw some sparks fly.
And the Nobel Committee has announced the 2019 Nobel Peace Prize winner. The Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Abiy Ahmed, was awarded for beginning peace talks with a neighboring country after decades of war. Ethiopia has been in conflict with Eritrea since 1998. For reference, that's the year that we were born. When Ahmed became prime minister in 2018, he signed a joint declaration of peace and friendship with Eritrean Prime Minister Isaias Afwerki, made domestic reforms, and released tens of thousands of political prisoners.
Other contenders for the award included environmental activist Greta Thunberg. While the 16-year-old was a favorite, she didn't receive as powerful of an endorsement. The prize will be formally awarded to Ahmed in December. You know, during his first 100 days of being the prime minister, he lifted the country's state of emergency, he granted asylum, but another thing that he did was he discontinued the media censorship, which is really important.
Yeah, that's definitely a good sign of progress. And the Nobel Committee has announced that they're trying to move away from Eurocentric and male-focused winners of these awards. So that is probably why Greta Thunberg did not win. She's a bit more Eurocentric. And so now moving on.
Back to the States, this warehouse store is going to make the extra mile to make sure its chicks stay cheap. Costco is planning to become one of the first mega retail stores to control its own chicken production process. This massive undertaking comes out of Costco's want to keep their chicken below $5.
The retailer is so adamant about keeping their chicken at an affordable price that they even lost roughly $30 million a year trying to keep their chickens $4.99. Costco has picked Nebraska to build their 400,000 square foot poultry complex. Roughly 91 million Kirkland rotisserie chickens were sold last year.
So this is really interesting because a lot of people would say, oh, why Nebraska? But Nebraska has had some troubles with sort of their farming industry with corn, being on the decline. So they asked and they reached out, and Nebraska wants to be involved because, with sort of the farming industry and then also the trade war with China, they're kind of suffering. So now Nebraska is the perfect place for Costco to go.
Yeah, and this is also going to have a lot of competition from other stores to keep their chicken prices low. But right now in the United States, chicken is more in demand than it has ever been before. Baby Shark is swimming off YouTube screens and onto the stage. That's right, everyone's favorite singing fish is embarking on a live musical tour. The tour began last week in South Carolina and will visit cities all over North America before closing in May. Though Syracuse is not a stop on the nearly 100-date tour, Baby Shark Live will be performing downstate in Brooklyn, New York. The set list, of course, features the popular song Baby Shark and other timeless classics such as Five Little Monkeys and The Wheels on the Bus. Tickets are available at babysharklive.com.
Honestly, I wish I could go to this, and it's so great because the creator of this is actually a mother of a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old, so she knows exactly what the little kids want.
Yes, the little kids definitely want this, but I think it's a little bit annoying for some of the parents. I certainly would not want to have to take a little child to this. That song gets stuck in your head so easily.
It does, but it's a bop, so I don't mind it stuck in my head.
I don't know. I'm more of like a Disney on Ice kind of gal for my live performances.
Well, after a nice sunny week, it's been a bit cloudy this morning.
Hopefully it will brighten up again. Here to tell us what we can expect and when the sun is going to come back out is weather anchor Carmella Boykin. Carmella?
Thanks, Gabrielle. Things aren't going to get bright just yet. Right now we're resting at 59 degrees with overcast skies and 5-mile-per-hour winds, so it's definitely a bit chilly, but not too blustery. Current temperatures across the state are a bit lower than here in Syracuse. We're actually at the warmest. Down in Cortland, they're at a cool 53 degrees. Binghamton is at 57. Ithaca, Penn Yan, and Elmira are at 55, respectively. And throughout the rest of the day today, we are expecting to see some rain, so that'll begin around noon. 1 p.m. will be at 58 degrees. Temperatures will slowly drop throughout the day, so by 6 p.m. we'll be down to 54 degrees. But that's when the rain stops and it starts to clear out, and this evening we're going to have a pretty clear night. 39 degrees will be our low, so a bit more frigid than we're used to recently, especially this season. Mostly clear, like I said, and light winds. But tomorrow is when, Gabrielle, the sun finally comes out. We'll have a high of 66 degrees, sunny Sunday after our executive producer Sunny, and 10 to 15 mile per hour winds. Throughout the rest of the week, we are going to see some continued sun as well. On Sunday, like I said, it'll be mostly sunny. Monday, we'll see some sun as well, but again with a low of a cool 39 degrees. Tuesday, it'll be quite chilly as well, but we will see sun. Wednesday and Thursday is when the rain does kick in though, but those lower temperatures we're seeing really does signal that we're into fall.
All right, well, Carmella, you mentioned that those temperatures are going to soon start dropping down to freezing levels. Does that mean we're going to start to see snow soon?
Not just yet here in Syracuse, but if you take a look at the radar, you can see that across the plains, there are a significant amount. There's a warm front and there's a cold front, creating the purple front, which is called an acculed front. And that means that the cold front overpowers it, bringing a ton of precipitation across the northern plains as well as across the Midwest. But as you can see here on the east side of the map, Syracuse, we're just going to see a bit of rain and some cool air.
Thank you so much, Carmella. And after the break, Monday's Indigenous Peoples Day, Juice and Java morning correspondent Katie Goralski is in studio to talk about the history behind the holiday.
And the co-presidents of the Indigenous students at Syracuse are here to tell us about the association's plans to celebrate Monday.
Stay with us.
Did you hear about the pony with a sore throat? He was a little horse. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why couldn't the Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Where do cats go on vacation? New York.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown and feel technique. After the first drown, a good stir. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Smokey, catch! Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back to Juice and Java. Monday will mark the 4th year SU has been celebrating Indigenous Peoples Day.
Morning correspondent Katie Goralski is in the studio to tell a bit about the historic day and the controversy that surrounds it.
Thanks, guys. This Monday is a day of celebration. For some of the nation, Monday is Columbus Day. For others, it's National Indigenous Peoples Day. In 1977, a movement began to celebrate National Indigenous Peoples Day instead of Columbus Day. Some point to the fact that Columbus was not the first to have discovered, nor is he even the first European to have traveled to the American continent. Before Columbus arrived, an estimated 50 million Aboriginal peoples inhabited America. One study stated that an estimated 56 million Indigenous people were killed within 100 years of white settlement. In 1992, Berkeley, California was the first to adopt Indigenous Peoples Day. Now over 60 cities and 7 states no longer recognize Columbus Day. The most recent addition to the list is Washington, D.C. D.C. passed an emergency legislation Tuesday to now celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day. Here at Syracuse, the university has been celebrating the holiday since 2016.
Thanks, Katie. We're now joined by co-presidents of the Indigenous Students at Syracuse Association, Nathan Abrams and Maris Jacobs.
Thank you so much for coming on, guys.
Yeah, no problem.
Glad to be here.
So tell us a little bit about your organization and its presence on campus.
Well, we are a student group, mostly Indigenous students. We meet kind of irregularly, but we try
to get together, especially around the fall time because we're planning for Indigenous Peoples Day. We have Native Outreach Day in the fall and in the spring, but then we also have Native Heritage Month in November. So we're getting together now regularly to plan events for that and trying to get a good group of returning students and also freshmen to stay involved with the organization.
So do you guys feel a responsibility to represent your nation while you're at SU?
I think that's different for depending on where you're coming from, but for me, I definitely think that I feel at home here amongst other Native students, especially within Indigenous students at Syracuse. But I feel that, especially from my own home community, people that are looking up to students that are coming here now, I feel like I have a responsibility to represent myself here and then take that back home and share with youth at home what I have going on here. And it's definitely kind of coming together to pull different parts of our backgrounds and home communities to showcase that on campus.
And do you guys ever feel disenfranchised from the university or your nation while you're here?
Well, I think an experience that a lot of first-year Indigenous students have is kind of feeling a bit of both. Feeling distant from their home community for being here, but at the same time, not necessarily feeling like they fit in. But as a group, that's kind of what we try to provide is the community support system for Indigenous students.
Yeah, and while Syracuse celebrates Indigenous Peoples Day, the city of Syracuse has sort of debated whether to change Columbus Day to Indigenous Day. How does ISAS sort of lend its voice in this discussion?
We've been having that conversation for quite a while, and from my experience, I was here when we got the petition signed to have it changed on campus, but we also did events downtown in Columbus Square with Noon Neighbors of the Onondaga Nation, who do a really great event every year on Indigenous Peoples Day. Downtown, this year it's going to be at the Inner Harbor Amphitheater, where they kind of have the community come together, they invite Indigenous speakers and to kind of create an environment where you can become an ally, learn more about it. So that's a really great effort on their part. There's a struggle in having other institutions, schools, businesses, the city in general, talk about that, especially because of the history of the city and the Italian community. There's a lot of conversations to be had, and they're in the process of doing that, and we kind of like to participate in that because there's so many students here that feel strongly about it, and it's the best way to do it is to kind of attend those things where we can make a difference.
Right, thank you so much for joining us today. And coming up, Juice and Java correspondent Ryan Baker tells us about last night's Empower Her a cappella concert.
And the host of the concert, the Mandarins, were in studio for a performance. Juice and Java will be right back.
What are you, superheroes?
Just four brothers who hate bullies and love this city.
Gear up, guys.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to care.
Welcome back to Juice and Java. Yesterday, a female empowerment a cappella concert was held in Hendricks Chapel.
The Empower Her concert featured singers from 4 different a cappella groups on campus. Juice and Java morning correspondent Ryan Baker is in studio to tell us more about this event.
Thanks, guys. Last night, the Empower Her a cappella concert took place here at SU, where female-identifying members of a cappella groups across campus performed alongside with Otto's Empire Belly Dance Troupe. This was the first time members of Oi Capella and Groove Stand performed alongside the headlining acts, the Mandarins and Main Squeeze. All of the proceeds of last night's event went to Vera House, a local organization that responds to and prevents sexual abuse and domestic violence. This morning, we had the stars of the Empower Her concert here in studio. Here are the Mandarins.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I would look in the mirror. Didn't see it then, but now it couldn't be clearer. I remember being filled with such wonder, before learning that the world can be harsher. Da, 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 da. Waiting for a day when you can be you and I can be me. Waiting for hope to come around. Waiting for a day when hate is lost and love is found. Waiting for a change. Waiting for a change. Change you. Waiting for a change. When I was young, I would look in the mirror. Didn't see it then, but now it couldn't be clearer.
Amazing performance, guys. Thank you so much for coming in today.
And stay tuned as we interview 2 members of the Mandarins up next.
Keep it right here.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. Gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. We're getting so wet.
Every time I hear the alarm bell go off in school, I think it's an air raid. A lot of houses in our neighborhood have been destroyed. I like to close my ears and sing songs whenever the bombs come close. I'm worried our new neighbors won't like us. But I know it's all gonna be worth it. I just want my family to be safe. But these are not my words.
These are not my words.
These are not my words.
Come on, it's not that hard.
My big man fingers are having a problem with these little tiny buttons.
Whoa, watch it there. Your blood pressure's gonna go through the roof.
Tell me about it. I'm trying to learn how to get it down. Instead, it keeps going up.
High blood pressure can increase the risk for heart attack or stroke. Learn how to keep yours at a healthy range.
Ever hear a voice command? Just say text barbershop to 97779.
That's not what I said.
Just give me that. Now my blood pressure's up.
Back to Juice and Java. The all-girls a cappella group, the Mandarins, performed live in studio just moments ago.
We're now joined by Mandarins music director Sarah Mitnick and Mandarin member Ofensa Mokoka. Sarah and Ofensa, thank you guys for coming in today.
Thank you for having us.
Now, the Empower event happens every single year, but this year, all the proceeds are going to Vera House, which is the nonprofit domestic violence and sexual assault prevention center. What was it like to work with such an important cause and organization?
It was just an enlightening cause. We actually had representatives from the organization come speak at the event, and it was just really amazing to see the support on this campus and how many people came out to see the performance and donated as well. So we just really loved that everyone was so active in raising awareness of this cause and this wonderful organization as well. And the speakers from the organization were just beautifully worded and everything. So it was amazing to work with them.
Now, what goes into preparing for a concert like Empower Her?
So we actually coordinate with the other a cappella group, Main Squeeze, and we kind of combine forces with our executive boards and everything, and we pick the music, decorations. We also coordinated other performances this year. We had Otto's Empire Belly Dance Troupe perform as well, so that was really awesome to go abroad, like the a cappella groups and everything. So we love bringing in different female empowerment groups and just for everyone to support us.
Also what we did was we had a really large social media platform, so we tried to ensure that everyone knew about Empower Her, and we had amazing like cute photo shoots and everything for like all of the women involved to feel empowered, and we would post it and we did little cute like things on our different social media platforms and just to get the message around and everything.
Now, can you guys give us a little hint on what songs you might have at your most recent upcoming concert?
So we actually are, well, we're doing our Empower Her set, so if you were at the performance, we got to sing Mother's Daughter by Miley Cyrus and Change by Christina Aguilera. And we also have some fun stuff coming up. We have a mashup of some Julia Michaels songs as well. And we also have our staple senior song that we love singing with those beautiful tight jazz harmonies. So
awesome, guys. Thank you so much. Coming up on Juice and Java, Morgan and I get ready for the spookily expensive season ahead.
Stay tuned to get some cheap costume inspiration right here on Juice and Java.
Got a quarter?
Fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television? You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
Welcome back. As Halloween creeps around the corner, college students all over the country are starting to think about costumes.
And in honor of today being National Costume Swap Day, Morgan and I thought it would be a fun idea to swap some costumes right here on Juice and Java. All right, so Morgan, what do you got over here?
Okay, so there's tutus, wigs, devil. This is a giraffe onesie.
Got a nice like fairy wings.
And the best thing about all of this stuff is that it's under $10. A lot of this stuff, like I found at Five Below. So it's very good if you're like a college student. So if you're trying to, save money, but you also want to, dress up. We have
all right, so
some
why don't you
options.
show people what some of this is going to look like? I think you should put on the wig.
Okay, so I'm going to put on this wig. I don't really have a hat to put on over it because, it's not really the best wig.
This crown is hard.
Wait. Hold on. I'm about to transform Hannah Montana style.
Hannah Montana style. All right. I think I'll make myself like a fairy queen or fairy king. It's more of a king's crown, I think. Oh wow, these are hard to get on.
Wow.
But, so this whole costume is like under $10, and you can easily be a fairy king. Oh,
honestly, for $5, I'm not that mad at this.
Hannah Montana, but her friend Lola. I think I'm getting Lola vibes.
Oh my God, yeah. I definitely think, you could be an alien with this. You could, wear a beanie and be like internet culture.
Yeah, and well, we're having a lot of fun just trying on different costumes. There's actually a lot of positives about Costume Swap Day because in communities where people maybe aren't able to afford buying costumes for their kids every year, they actually have these events at different churches and community centers where people can go and exchange costumes. So maybe if your family were all angels last year and a different family was all princesses, you can swap them so the kids get a new costume for the year.
Yeah.
And that's all we have for Juice and Java this morning.
Check us out online at CitrusTV.com and follow CitrusTV on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We might not be wearing this, but you will see us.
I'm Gabrielle Caracciolo.
And I'm Morgan Trau. Have a wonderful day, Syracuse.